Yeah, welcome back to another episode of the Format Podcast. But this time, we're doing a late night Sunday night NFL wrap up. Yes.
Yes.
All right. So, well, nobody in the chat right now, so we're gonna hold on a minute, kind of see if we can go ahead and get it bubbling a little bit before we start, man. But what's going on, Transformer? How was your weekend, man?
Man, Big Bruce, Big Baritone Bruce, man. We're glad to have you back. Glad to have you back. First of all, we want to, thank God that you had safe travels from the Notre Dame game and made yourself way back home. So, thank the man above for that. But man, been doing good, bro. 2-0
Yeah.
With my quarterback out. Can't wait to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Ravens did what they should have done.
Yeah.
Going down,
almost gave it up.
Almost doesn't count though.
No, it does not. My dad always used to say
that. Almost doesn't count, man. How you doing?
Doing all right, man. Good weekend.
How was the trip?
Oh, man, it was fantastic. Got out there, man. It's my son's first time in South Bend, so
yeah,
we went around. Took the pictures, showed him the sights and all that. Man, we went to a tailgate hosted by Always Irish Notre Dame football podcast. Man, I'm cool with those guys. So
yeah,
it was fantastic. Then we went to the game, and the Irish did what they had to do. It started off slow, had me a little bit worried, but they ended up getting the job done. So real nice.
That's dope, man. That's dope, man. I'm glad you guys had a good time, man. They put in, 28-3, I believe?
Yes, sir. 28-3. Good win.
Sir. Good win.
Yeah.
Happy to hear it. Happy to see it.
Yeah. One game at a time. Go 1-0 every week. That's the only goal, man. Because another loss probably knock us out the playoffs, the college football playoffs. So we'll see what happens.
No, that's for sure.
No doubt.
Florida State came in, crept up a dub on Cal, turned from undefeated to defeated. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, needed that.
Definitely needed that, man. We needed some type of motivation going into Florida.
Yeah. Realistically, man, I'm hoping that you guys, being Florida State, can really pick it up the rest of the way. So was it? I'm gonna say is November. Florida State's in South Bend for the Notre Dame game. That's supposed to be a night game. So hopefully we can turn that into kind of something a little exciting if you guys can go on a run from here to there, and so can the Irish. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll definitely see, man. Like I said, the defense finally stepped up. We finally did what we were supposed to do. I believe we had more rushing yards than we did in the first 3 games this game.
Mm-hmm.
So, DJ is just he's going to be DJ, but we got to get the ball out of his hands by, running the football, sticking to his strength, and, defense do their job. And when they do their job, let's go capitalize on it. So it was pretty good.
No doubt. What's funny? Quick side note to that is the 1993 Florida State Notre Dame game is what made me a Notre Dame fan. That's the first time I watched Notre Dame play college football. Yeah. That was Charlie Ward and Peter Warwick and all them guys, man. And they were number 1 in the nation, and they went into South Bend, and Notre Dame beat them. And that was after that. I was like, Notre Dame every week, man, because they're on NBC every week. And that,
true.
So, that's when I kind of really started getting into college football, watching it, is every week, just watching Irish, man. And that's it.
I ain't gonna lie, man. It took me a while to get into college football. I never really grew up watching college football. My high school, we had a very good football team, so I always enjoyed watching high school football. But collegiately, I really didn't get into collegiate football until I was well on in the military, man. I was a grown adult, and I believe at the time, I think this is when Melvin Gordon was the running back, and I was like, okay, man. Wisconsin doing some things, and I was proud to see that, and then. I believe we lost against not USC. We lost against Alabama. I want to say it was Alabama that year. When it came to I think it was the Natty. I want to say it was the Natty.
Okay. No, it wasn't national championship. It was bowl game, but not national.
Probably a bowl game. Yeah, probably a bowl game, like a Rose Bowl. Yeah. It was something. But yeah, that's when I finally started really paying attention to it. Really diving into it because I'm like the excitement, and then my homies all had college teams, and I was just like, all right, let me watch a little more college football. So
no doubt.
Yeah,
man, that's cool, man. College football it's got its things that can be irritating, and it's a different thing than the NFL, but it's really exciting in its own way too.
Yeah, no, I'm curious to see where like the direction it goes as far as dramatics when it comes to the NILs. And players now getting paid. I mean, players now getting paid, and
right.
so you're curious to see how they're going to react, and how professional they're going to keep it, or whether they're going to get too big headed, like, yeah, I'm the one who get paid. I get paid, so I should be doing this or whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
yeah, that's always going to be, I think, part of the concern, and I think, I mean, other than flat out just not wanting to share the money with the players, but that's always going to be part of the concern. Is like, is the drive still going to be there on the same level when guys are being highly compensated? But I mean,
True.
I guess that's just something you got to deal with. You can't continue to keep robbing these guys, using that as a crutch. So
no, that's true. That's true. I'm proud to see that the players are getting paid. You know what I mean? They're going out here, making so many dollars on memorabilia, merchandise, video game content, and stuff like that. And you can't pay me a dime. I mean, you say free education, but you guys are making millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Why not, let me get a piece of it? So
that's right.
But I mean, you're right, to see if it just gets to their head. They making more money than folks in the NFL.
Yeah. Well, you heard
you
heard what Coach Prime said the other day, and when he said he thinks that a lot of the media members are just jealous of the players because the players making more money than I didn't like that at all. But
yeah, that was a bit of a cocky statement. Yeah, that was a bit of a cocky statement.
Yeah, but that's Coach Prime. He's gonna say what he want to say, right? That's
always.
Yeah. All right. Let's go ahead and let's get to it. We'll see if throughout the course of this thing we get a little more traffic, but let's go ahead and get it rolling.
All right, man. So
and before we get into it, my bad, Transfer, I didn't mean to cut you off. Let me do my little spiel, and then we're gonna get it popping, I promise. If you're here on YouTube and you haven't already, please make sure you go ahead, click that like, that subscribe, that notification bell. Make sure you're kept up to date whenever we drop new content on the channel. If you want the audio-only version of the podcast, open up your audio podcast platform, hit the search bar, type in The Format Podcast, and we should come right up. If you're enjoying the content, make sure you give us that like, that 5-star review, and drop a comment. All that stuff helps us rise in the algorithm, helps us find more sports fans, helps more sports fans find us. And finally, make sure you write it down, put it in your phone, set an alarm, do whatever you got to do to remember. Saturday nights at 7 p.m. we are live here on the Format Podcast, and we'll give you the opportunity to call in, talk to us, get at me. I love it. I can't. All right, there we go, man. Let's get to it, man. Go ahead and take off, man. I got you. I'm not going to cut you off.
Hey, I was blindsided about it. I'm getting hype, and I'm like, oh, man, boom, cut me off. But no, man, we're here. We told you guys we're going to start doing this a little bit more often to kind of get the football week out of the way instead of waiting all the way to Wednesday before us to give us our takes and everything when the next week literally follows that next day. So here we go. We're getting this thing popping. We're going to start off with Green Bay. Here we go.
Right.
Green Bay goes into Tennessee. Again, week 3 of the league, but week 2 without Jordan Love participating. I know it was a lot of feedback saying that he was possibly going to play. I'm glad that they decided to sit him because Malik Willis is looking great. We're literally seeing that scheming does matter. Coaching does matter. And if you put the pieces around a quarterback to succeed and have a scheme for them to succeed, you can see success. Literally, I believe Malik Willis had 0 touchdowns and 3 interceptions, and I believe a quarterback rating of 50 something as far as his tenure at Tennessee. He literally comes over to Green Bay. Literally has. Let me pull up my screen here on my phone. I literally just had a screenshot of it. He has 83% completion percentage, 324 yards, 2 touchdowns, 131.7 passer rating in 2 games as a starter. And that the stat I gave you before was in 3 games as a starter where he had 0 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. So that goes to show you, man, the scheme does matter. The coaching does matter, and what you put around that team does matter. We literally took the ball out of his hands and literally kept to our strengths. I believe we had 188 rushing yards today, and he was actually the leading rusher with about 73 yards. So like that goes to show you have to put these players in a team, I mean, a term of success in order for them to be successful. So definitely proud of what they did. The defense showed they behinds. I mean, I think this is the third game straight where my safety that we just got from the Giants, McKinney, has an interception. Jai Alexander, he just got his money, I believe, a year ago. Comes out with a pick six. Defense.
I'm not even thinking about that. 8 sacks, bro.
8. I was just about to say it.
Dude alive.
Will Levis got sacked 8 times, man. 8 times.
Crazy.
So that's pretty big for our defense, man. So I'm pretty proud of what they did, man. They literally just showed, we don't have to pass the ball. We don't need Jordan Love yet, and we can actually take our time and allow him to get healthy and come back. So 30-14, we went in Tennessee. We're now 2-1, so I'm proud to say that. All right. We're gonna move on over. You got a team you want to talk about next? Because I know who
I want to talk about next, man. You know where this is going, man. By the way, shout outs to everybody in the chat. First, make sure you are clicking that like and subscribe, y'all. Nino, yes, Steeler Nation, and we'll get to that. But you know what it's going to be. Go ahead. You got to
go with the Ravens, or we go with the Bears?
You already know what it is. We're going to go with the Ravens, bro.
The Ravens. All right, the Ravens did what we told them to do. What did we tell them to do, bro?
We told them to run the ball and stop the run.
Run the ball and stop the run. How many times did Lamar Jackson throw the ball today?
15 times.
15 times. How many times did you guys run the ball today?
We ran the ball 45 times today.
45 times.
I like that ratio.
I'm not a mathematician, but I can tell you what, that'll work.
That'll work.
I can tell you what, that'll work. When you have a backfield of Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson, that should be somewhat close to your ratio. Now, I'm not saying that you got to run the ball 45 times a game, right?
No.
But I am saying, north of 25, 30, when you have both Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson, because obviously you see with the formula, I believe between the two, they had 39 carries alone, right? But that 39 carries gave you 238 yards between the two. That's crazy. 3 touchdowns between the two, and then Lamar Jackson tacked on one from a passing situation. But like we said, that opens up so many avenues of success when you guys are sticking to your strength.
Yeah,
you came into Dallas, and what do we say was the biggest stage in football is Jerry's World. So you go into Jerry's World, you punch them straight in their mouth, and you go up 28-3. Now, we're going to talk about that comeback. All right. You can call it a comeback. I just call it empty calories of Dak Prescott doing what he always does. But again, you started the game and you literally set the tone of what what we're going to do and what you can't stop us from doing. And I think that was running the football. So what do you think about your team getting that dub today?
So obviously I like to see him get off the schneid, right? This was going back to the AFC Championship game last year. This was Lamar Jackson's first 3-game losing streak in the NFL, which is crazy to think, right? NFL is a very difficult league. And
going back to last year, we want to make it clear.
Going back to last year's AFC title game, correct. So he was down 3. And so the Ravens, obviously, a lot of teams picked to come out of the AFC this year, a lot of sports pundits, etc. They were 0-2 going into this game. And we talked about it last time. The Cowboys' rushing defense is absolutely horrendous, but it was less concern about what the Ravens would or wouldn't do and more concern about Todd Monken, Ravens OC, right?
Yeah.
So for whatever reason, Todd Monken has been reticent to call a run-heavy game plan, but he got smart with it and did it tonight for whatever reason. And then in that second half, when the game started to kind of get away from him and Dak Prescott really started wheeling and dealing, Cowboys started running off some points, and it seemed to me like he kind of got away from that. You know what I'm saying? He kind of got away from pounding the ball the way they were in the first half. And so I feel like that allowed Dak Prescott to get some rhythm and let the Cowboys get back into this game. Now, it's interesting, right? I am not at all a Dak Prescott guy. I've said
he is not, Chad.
No, I'm not. I've said time and time again, I think he's vastly overpaid. I don't think he should ever be the highest paid player, no matter, when his contract is up. I think it's clear that he's not the guy that's going to take you there. So why pay him like that? But that said today, and this is Transformer and I disagree on this. Today, it seemed to me that it wasn't empty calories. It seemed like he was really leading a real comeback, not just trying to make the score look respectful. Like, for instance, when Green Bay went in there and smacked them all up and down and monkey stomped them all over their own field in the playoffs last year. To me, what that looked like was him trying to make it look respectful. Let me get some numbers. Today, it looked like he was actually trying to lead his team back to get a win. And that looked different to me. Normally, I will agree with you and say that Dak is a master of stacking up the empty calorie stats when the game's out of reach. But I didn't see that today. I saw, maybe for one of the first times, I really saw like some competitive fire, like him trying to lead the team back. But it was too late. Like, if you're that guy, you're not supposed to let the game get to that point. Now,
you're not supposed to be in that situation.
That's right.
That was my point.
Yeah. Now, the defense didn't show up. We know that. Cool. Defense didn't show up. But like I always say, if your defense doesn't show up and you're the highest paid quarterback and you're supposed to be that dude, you got to turn it into a shootout. And to some extent, that's what he did.
Yeah. I mean, I get what your point was. Dak Prescott, like I said, he does this from time to time again. Like, he goes down big, and we see this surgence of all of a sudden in the second half, or most importantly, the fourth quarter, where he has about close to 200 yards passing, right? But you also passing against soft zone, against a defense who was just like, okay, we're just trying to keep him out of the end zone. So guess what? Those short 15, 20-yard passes that you're making, they're giving you those. They're giving you those because they want to take the clock out. You know what I mean? So that's why I don't like when Dak puts himself in that situation, because then it kind of gives him that out of this type of conversation where it's like, hey, man, Dak at least try to have a comeback. No, Dak shouldn't have been in the situation in the first place. Right. You shouldn't have been there in the first place. If you was been passing like this in the fourth quarter, in the first two quarters, maybe we're talking about a ball game here. But you were down 28-3 before you decided to wake up and start eating up the Ravens' soft coverage defense. And fortunately, and this is another bigaboo of the Baltimore Ravens, penalties helped them out even more. Penalties is I think they had 13 penalties today. That's crazy. You can't have that many penalties, especially when you're holding a 28-3 lead. So that's where I get to the point where Dak Prescott has to do that at the beginning of the game, second quarter at least. But fourth quarter, when you're down 2 to 3 scores, now we can have that conversation like, oh, well, this is why they pay him, man. He tries to come back, but man, our defense just can't stop nothing. Our defense can't stop nothing. I mean, the Ravens didn't score on every drive. And
that's what I was about to point out. Really, what was it? 21-3 at the half, right?
Yeah.
So the Ravens scored. The defense stepped up a bit, and the Ravens, obviously, I don't know, they took their foot off the gas or whatever. But Cowboys defense did step up some in the second half. They only gave up 1 touchdown in the second half. So it's not like they were out there getting completely gassed. Now, real quick, before we move on to the next game, this was something I found interesting, and a lot of people, they don't want to admit this, because you know what I realized, right? When we talk about guys getting paid and who should get paid and who shouldn't get paid in the NFL or whatever, I think that a lot of people in the sports media are afraid to say who shouldn't get paid, because it's kind of en vogue to be on the player side and say, well, the players are out there putting their bodies on the line, which they are, and they work hard, which they do, and, all this stuff. It's kind of not in vogue to say, listen, this player should not get paid this amount of money, right? But it's funny because they'll sit there, they'll pound on the desk for said player X, to get paid whatever amount of money. Oh, they're up next. That's how it works. They should get their money. Cool. But then they will rip that player after they get paid and they don't play up to the contract. Well, which freaking is it? I find that to be very disingenuous. And where I'm going here with this before we move on, Michael Parsons is the next guy up to get a big deal from the Cowboys. And if we pay attention, in games against good teams, he never shows up. No sacks today. Now, the whole entire Cowboys defense did not get a sack. And a lot of that, too, is because Lamar Jackson only had 15 passing attempts, right? But no sacks. And meanwhile, the Ravens had 3 sacks. Again, Dak threw the ball, 51 times today? So the Ravens did get more opportunity. But the point is, even if you look at, this is Michael Parsons' third year, right? Third year.
Yeah, third year.
So he's been in the playoffs every year he's been in the league. He hasn't had a sack in the playoffs yet. He does not get sacks against better teams. So this is something that we got to keep an eye on going forward, because he's in line to now become probably the highest paid non-quarterback. Why? He's an edge rusher. He's an elite edge rusher. He's stacking up a lot of freaking sacks, but where are they against better teams?
Fourth year, apparently. Fourth year.
Oh, fourth year. I apologize. Thank you, AJ. Appreciate you. Yeah, so we got to pay attention to that stuff. It's annoying to me, man.
No, man. I mean, you're right. You're right. And you get paid the big dollars. We expect you to do big dollar things when it matters the most. Like you knew that you guys were 1-1 and you just got blown out. The doors blown off you in back-to-back home games. Dating back to last year against this team right here in Green Bay. Then you come out your league opener against the Saints and you get blown out the door again. Like as fast as them fans ran in through the door, they ran all of y'all out the door as quickly as that game started. And then you come up in this game, the expectations are, hey, all right, we may get punched in the mouth in the first quarter, but let's do something about it. Nah, you didn't do anything. You guys went down 28-3 at home again, and you literally had your fans in the stands looking like, and we paid this man $67 million a year. You know what I mean? Like, but like I said, we give him that pass or a quote unquote some type of pass. Well, he did lead a comeback. He had 379 yards, 2 touchdowns. He got sacked 3 times. He even ran in for a touchdown. B, what more do you want Dak Prescott to do? Not do all that in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Do that at the game. Make the game competitive. Now, if it was to be a shootout and Dak Prescott lost a game in a shootout, then I'm not going to put the onus on Dak Prescott. But guess what?
Exactly.
You couldn't score in the first half. The first half, they did that defense did what they wanted to against you. You know what I mean? CeeDee Lamb could like being covered by a rookie, and you couldn't exploit that. Being covered by a rookie. And granted, I mean your run game is non-existent, so I'm not going to pretty much put that blame on Dak Prescott because we know without no run game, Dak Prescott is just an average quarterback in my opinion, at best. With a running game, Dak Prescott can look elite because guess what? The pressure's not on him.
The stats are there proving it. Yeah, he does not play well when he doesn't have a good running game.
And guess what? Your leading rusher had 32 yards. Leading rusher had 32 yards, and you were the second leading rusher with 7 yards. That's not going to win you any type of football games. But you guys got the dub. So proud of you guys, man. So proud of you guys.
We needed that, man. We needed that.
Needed as much as you did, bro. Pause.
Facts.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to skip over because I'm seeing Laker Nation. He wants to discuss more of the Kansas City game that literally just ended. So since it's fresh off our brain, Kansas City walks away with another W. Somehow they get it done. Steve Spagnuolo.
I was about to say, that was my biggest, I'm sorry to interrupt. My big takeaway is, man, them guys just know how to win, man. Now, do they sometimes, does it seem like they get some help from the officials? It seems that way. Yeah. But at the same time, it always seems that way when you have an elite team, right? People were saying the same thing about the Patriots. They say the same thing about, in every sport when you have an elite team and they're winning a lot. Oh, the refs are on the take, whatever. But yeah, go ahead, man.
Exactly. No. He wants to say let's talk about the obvious PI. Well, let me put this up on recording so everybody know what we're talking about. Let's talk about the obvious PI that wasn't called against Kansas City. I believe he's talking about the end zone,
in the end zone in the late game,
in the late game, right? And I think it was the second to last drive before Atlanta obviously turned it over on downs to end the game. But they made it up for the next drive. How many defensive pass interference calls was called the very next drive? You're gonna have games where those calls can be missed. Now here goes the comeback for that one. Well, if it's Kansas City got the ball, they're gonna call it every freaking time. Sell it. Do something about it, bro. I mean, we can't sit here and continuously blame the refs for a team not being able to beat Kansas City, bro. I'm not the biggest Kansas City fan. Obviously, I'm a Green Bay fan, but Jesus Christ, we can't just keep putting the onus on the refs about one freaking call.
Exactly.
Every single game, like every single game.
Yeah, and you don't think the opponents kind of feel like, man, we can't leave it in the hands of the officials, so don't go out there and do it.
Don't go out there and do it.
We hear that in sports. Don't leave it up to the officials to decide, especially when you're playing against a team like that. You can't. So what do you have to do? You have to go out there and beat them. You got to take it from them. But go ahead.
No, true. But anyway, Kansas City came in with a 22-17 lead. I'm not gonna lie, Cousins did look better. I mean, he's looking like he's, that Achilles isn't really bothering him as much. Run game was pretty steady. They pretty much evened out the rushing attempts between Bijan Robinson and Al Khalil. I believe they both had about 30-something yards, a touchdown. So they was trying to establish the game, but obviously, they were definitely putting the ball in Cousins' hands with about 29 attempts there. But of course, you catch Kansas City, man. You got to beat them in all three phases of the game.
They're the champs. You got to beat in every sport. You have to beat the champions. You can't assume that, you You play a good game, you're going to get a fair shake. You got to beat the champs and take it away from them.
Exactly. And then you go, because we go back to the defensive pass interference that was missed. Atlanta goes down the very next drive. You literally have an opportunity to win the game. I mean,
Yes,
or at least extend the game out.
Yes.
But you guys call a pitch. You call a pitch on a 4th and pretty much inches. I would say maybe it was 1.5 feet that you guys needed, but you guys pitched it out 5 yards back to Bijan Robinson against Spagnolia in the fourth quarter. You don't do that against Spags, man.
No, you
Spags is dialing up pressure. Fourth quarter situations, last 2 minutes, Spags dials up pressure. He's not going to sit in no zones. He's not playing no coverage. He's playing man. Every hat has a hat, and we're freaking getting to the football. You guys call a pitch to literally in the game. He got nowhere close. He actually lost like 2 or 3 yards.
To me, when you call something like that, you're trying to get too cute, and it shows that you don't believe in your guys up front. Because what happens in a situation like that is 4th down, it's 4th and inches or 4th and a foot, 1.5 feet, whatever it is. You are supposed to be, you got big hog mollies up front. That's why those guys are there. Low man wins. Get, like you said, get a hat on a hat and move those guys a couple of feet back off of their spot so that your running back can get there and convert that 4th down. Like,
you literally needed 1.5 feet.
I don't.
Now, if you need it,
you make a call like that, you don't believe in your guys. You're getting
exactly. Yeah, you're trying to play speed game, but you got to realize, man, Kansas City defense is great, is elite. Those guys are elite when it matters the most in the fourth quarter, specifically when a game is on the line. Spags is going to dial up a pressure or dial up a defense that you're probably not ready for. And you're trying to be cute with Bijan Robinson calling a pitch at the end of the game.
Man, don't do that.
The game every time, man.
Don't do that. I think it was Nick Bolton, the way he shot through there and blew that play up. I was like,
absolutely.
Goodness.
Like Bijan couldn't even get back to the line of scrimmage. That's how quick he shot through that. I'm like, bro,
and shut it down.
You got to plug it up, man.
No, but Laker Nation, we're not. Excuse me, we're not assuming that they should have called a quarterback sneak. If you're going to hand it to your running back, that's fine. But your O-line should be able to get that push enough that on 4th and less than a yard that your running back can pick it up. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, nobody, and it's Achilles, by the way. It's not his ACL.
Yes, Achilles.
You're not. Yeah, I mean, of course, we're not expecting Kirk Cousins to do that in the first place, but at least try to run it up the gut or something. Like make it the shortest distance possible that you got to get 1.5 feet. You're not trying to score at this point. You literally can get a first down. You got a minute left with 2 timeouts. I believe 2, maybe all 3 of the timeouts. No, it was 2. It was 2 timeouts left, right? You got 2 timeouts. You got a minute plus left. You just need to get the first down. You literally just need the first down. So me pitching it back 3 more yards.
Yeah, that already puts you. Yeah,
why would work to get 4 or 5 yards just to get the first down? So I just didn't like that call. AJ Jenkins, Atlanta defense was playing pretty decent though. If that PI was called and they scored, the defense played well enough to get another stop, just like they did to get the ball back. Who really knows? Who does? Truly, who does? But I'm not going to sit back and again another week.
Yeah, that's a lot of speculation, a lot of contemplation. Yeah,
man. I mean, we get calls all day. We all know that a fourth quarter call by the ref way more heavily than a first quarter call on the refs. I mean, by the refs. So, at that point, it kind of is what it is, man. We see these calls happen all the time, brother. Mike, have Kelsey scored yet? No, and I'm actually kind of peed off, bro. What's going on with that? I don't know what's going on with that, man.
Do we think there's anything to I'm not saying they're necessarily saving him for the postseason, but allowing some of these younger guys and some of these newer guys to the scheme to kind of get into the flow? Anything to that?
Well,
I'm not saying yay or nay, but I mean, it's possible.
I can see that. I could definitely see something like that. But again, like, you still don't want to mess up the chemistry between the two.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, I don't think you can. These guys have been playing together a long time. And realistically, at the end of the day, as long as they keep winning, I don't think you're going to hear Kelsey complain.
Nah. I mean, as long as they winning. I mean, 3-0, as long as they're winning, I don't see nobody in Kansas City finna complain. The last person that's going to complain is Rashid Rice after, he's battling.
right.
Field, he's like, bro, let's just go win this thing. Because if I end up getting any type of sentence, at least I walked away a champion again.
That's right.
with the high potential of, preparing for a great comeback. So,
yeah.
All right, that's Kansas City. We're going to move on. We're going to go to I believe this game was in Indianapolis, the Bears and the Colts.
Okay.
I told you
Let's
he was
go
going to
there.
get 2 touchdowns, man. I
Say
called
again.
2 touchdowns. Caleb Williams.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, it was a losing effort. 16-21. Indianapolis did win that game. He did throw it all over the place.
Not a bad game, though. Yeah.
Not a bad game.
33 to 52, 363, 2 touchdowns,
Precisely.
2 picks. That's a good game for a rookie. That's a really good game.
Yeah. And I mean, like we expected, Indianapolis coach does have a decent enough defense for them to be respectable. I didn't understand how the Bears just couldn't get the run game again going. I mean, I understand that you literally just saw us run it up the gut every play against Indianapolis, and you guys didn't even attempt to even make that a thing. You're running the ball out of the shotgun again. What are we doing? What is that? Why are we doing that? Why are we doing that? I don't get it.
I don't know. I guess that's just a scheme that they run. I really don't know. But I'll say this, right? They did make an attempt to run it. They tried to. They handed it off 28 times. So they made the attempt to run it, but they just couldn't get it going. So I would assume that if they had gotten it going, there would have been less running in and a little less on Caleb's shoulders in terms of throwing the ball a lot. But not a bad game for him. Not a bad game for him.
No,
Anthony Richardson on the other side. Go ahead.
Bad.
Terrible. Stunk it up.
Bad. I said this at the beginning of the season. I didn't see enough of him at Florida. And then your comeback on that was that he didn't have the experience. Yet he's starting.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. I mean, clearly, I believe the little toss that he tried to make an end zone. What are you doing? Why are you making?
You tried to make one of those Tim Tebow jump passes.
Yeah, like a little jump pass. I'm like, what is you doing? It was clearly a defender in front and behind him. What are you doing with your decision making, man?
I don't know.
Honestly, that kid is actually hindering them more than he's helping them. Another 2 interceptions, no touchdown. 20 attempts, 167 yards. Jonathan Taylor, of course, stole the day away, doing what he does best. And that's a Badger coming out of Wisconsin. 110 yards, 2 touchdowns. And he literally did what he does best, and that's tote the rock and lead the team to a win. So
I think that's his first 100-yard game this season. So they definitely needed that from him. They needed that. So
no, definitely needed that from a great Bears defense. I do like the Bears defense. But eventually any great defense can look suspect or badder than they are when they're always on the field. If I'm always on the field, I'm getting tired. So any great defense can look suspect after that. Viking, okay, Laker Nation. We're gonna talk about. Let's go to Vikings. Man, that was woo.
I got this dead wrong. I couldn't believe it. My bad. Go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
We both got that one wrong, man.
Dead wrong. I was shocked.
Sam Darnold is leading the league in touchdowns. Did we know that? Leading the league in touchdowns thrown by a quarterback.
Is he?
Sam Darnold.
Wow. Yep. Was that coming into today or as of at the end of this?
I mean, as of today, I don't think nobody else is close. To be honest with you. I mean, I can't think. I mean, who would even be close? I mean, somebody go pull up the numbers. I'm curious to see. I think the next person may be at like five touchdowns because it hasn't really been a high touchdown passing league thus far. Going
That's true. But I'm okay with that because that means people are playing defense. So I'm cool with that.
Means people are playing defense, but I also credit that to a lot more younger players just not having the experience to get the
ball. That's true too. And then you have the issue of also what is it? A lot of guys don't have people playing preseason as well. So you get into that.
Correct.
Let's see.
But
2024.
While you're looking at that, 34-7. I mean, it was one of the pass and sticks type of games. I believe they went up about 21 zip. If you play Madden, you go down 21, you just go ahead and pass the controller. And at that point, CJ Stroud finally scored. Had a quick touchdown pass. I believe it was a touchdown pass. I think it was like a 15-yard or something like that. But I mean, they got their behinds handed to them. You got sacked 4 times, 2 picks. I mean, Sam Darnold couldn't look much better than what he did. 17-28, 181 yards. It's not too crazy, but the 4 touchdowns
is
where it gets crazy. Aaron Jones had himself a night, 102. rushing yards on the ground, even touchdown catch that he had early in the game with 46 yards in the receiving end. And I had this somebody, my brother hit me up and was like, "Hey man, Josh Jacobs ain't doing nothing today, but Aaron Rodgers over there playing a great game. That's a different team, bro." If you look at the reason we didn't,
I don't even understand why somebody would tell you that,
because he wasn't thinking. But
okay.
my response to that, right? Aaron Jones is an older quarterback. He's 30, going on 31 years old. Guess what? We want to get younger. Our team is younger. Why not go get a younger, springier running back to add to your young core? I'm not going to drag a older running back with receivers and a quarterback who are all under 25 years old. It just doesn't make sense, right? On top of that, did you not see what Josh Jacobs did last week? Did you not see what he did last week? In this game that he just had, he wasn't necessarily running his best game, but he also didn't get that many attempts. And the attempts that he was doing something on, our offensive line kept getting called with just crazy holding penalties and illegal shifting and stuff like that to get those runs called back. But again, that's against a Titans defense where we're trying to run it up the gut, and Titans' strength is running it up the gut. They defend the gut pretty well when it comes to a run game. So my brother just didn't understand that part.
I got you.
Of football. But say that all to say, Aaron Jones had a show tonight, and Sam Darnold, man, they just put him on. They put it on the Texans.
Yeah, I was really shocked by that. But hey, good for him. Although I'm going to be honest, I do not believe that this will continue too much longer. I mean, we've got what 4 or 5 years of evidence now that Sam Darnold's just not this good. So I mean,
and I believe he got hurt.
Wrong. Oh wow, that's possible.
Hold on, let me double check on that. I believe he ended up getting hurt towards the end of the game. I think it may be his knee, and I think he's getting a MRI or some type of check coming up. So, and then it's curious because we play him next week, so he better be ready. Better be ready because the pack is coming. The pack is going to go and go in the pack. All right. Let's see.
Quick side note: I went to high school with Minnesota Vikings defensive backs coach.
Really?
Yeah, Durante Jones. Yo.
Wow.
Couple years ago, he was LSU's defensive coordinator as well. Yeah, I went to high school with that guy.
Hey, so he knows defense. He definitely knows defense. The Texans behind today.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't nothing that the Texans could do offensively.
No, nothing
at all. Now, mind you, they was out without Joe Mixon, but I'm not finna say you're a Joe Mixon away from getting 34-7.
Nah, not like that.
I'm not gonna say anything like that. But anyway, we're gonna move on to the to my other primetime game, and that was the Philadelphia Eagles going into New Orleans. And
really surprised at how that defense was able to almost shut down what had been, the highest scoring and best offense in the league to this point. They really did well. Jalen Hurts completely outplayed Derek Carr. He didn't have a passing touchdown, and he threw one pick, but 29 of 38 for 311. That's real good. And Saquon got busy. I think that was the difference maker.
No, when he sprung through that hole for that, I believe it was a 56-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
I'm like, they needed that. That electrified that offense and definitely got them motivated on the sideline. So they definitely needed that. But you're right. I believe the Saints scored a total of 92 points in the first two games. Just to come up all the way into the fourth quarter, they only had 3 points. So I think that's definitely kudos to the Philadelphia Eagle defense and what they were able to do to stop Derek Carr, and then they sealed the game with a game-sealing interception by Blankenship.
Blankenship, I believe. Yeah. What was I gonna? I was gonna say something here, and I forgot what it was. Okay, but yeah, it's funny because Saquon Barkley and Alvin Kamara have a similar style and a similar usage for their teams, but Saquon clearly got the better of that today. So.
Yeah, I mean, that's not to say Kamara didn't have a great game, because honestly, Barkley's that big touchdown run kind of just changed the dynamic of the yardage situation. 17 for 147, but Kamara still had 26 for 87. And when I say, man, that kid got balance, bro. When I say I've never seen somebody break tackles off one foot and like just hopping, spin around. You hit him from one side.
Well, that's because you're not old enough. There's this guy. His name is Barry Sanders.
Oh man, I know. I'm talking about now. I know who the hell Barry Sanders is.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like now, like
Yeah,
in
I
this
got you.
modern era that
Yeah,
we
yeah.
see, such balance. And I don't think he's as big as Barry. Barry was a little bit
Pause.
more stouter. Was he?
No. Barry was what, about 5'8", 210. So yeah, short
Yeah, I
and
think it was
stocky. Yeah.
it was a little bit more stocky than Kamara.
Mhm.
I think Kamara's a little bit taller than him, but
Yeah.
no, that was a great game, man. That was a great game. It was more of that old school, like well, who can I compare this to? Like a Steelers Ravens game, like back in the early 2000s, where it's just defense,
Yeah.
fourth quarter, a couple of
Right.
field goals, that's your ball game.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
a score of
And
15-12, nobody in their right mind was going to predict that. If you
Mhm.
picked the over at all on this game, I mean,
Right.
I feel bad for you, man. That was a bad call.
One more thing before we move on from this game. Was this a career day for Dallas Goedert? 10 catches for $170.
Yes. Oh, yes.
He went
Absolutely.
ham.
Kid
Yeah.
took off, man. I
Mhm.
mean, I think one of the plays was a busted coverage where I think he ran for about 40, 50 yards, but still you take 50, 40 yards back, he got
That's right.
120.
That's right.
I think, Jalen Hurts did what he could. We lost AJ Brown, and I believe later on he ended up losing Devontae Swift to a concussion.
Smith, yeah. Yep.
So he did what he had to do. Go down there, make some plays, and get it to your other weapons. You still got two other weapons out there on the field, three other weapons, honestly. With Dotson, Goddard, and Saquon Barkley can also play receiver as well, and he's in your backfield. So I think that he did a pretty good job,
Right.
with that comeback, because that was a little bit of a back and forth at the end. That was actually pretty exciting. I know my buddy, my partner, Frankie, super excited. He was actually at the game and literally turned around and panned at the Saints fans, and their faces just like,
right.
oh no,
Yeah.
literally just let it fall. But yeah, you got anything else on the Philly and Saints?
No. Let's move it along.
Let's move it along. We're gonna go to Pittsburgh. All right,
That's funny. I had that up on my screen, and I know my main man Nino waiting to hear about this one. So,
Hey.
AFC North, man, Steelers are now 3-0, and surprisingly, the best team in the division, and right there at the top of the AFC with Kansas City, and that defense is steel curtain, man. They're doing it. Justin Fields, good game today. 25 of 32. 245 yards through the air, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. So, not a completely clean game, but super solid, good game. And I think he's making it harder and harder as long as they keep winning for Russell Wilson to get that job back once he's healthy.
True. No, that's true.
Yeah. True. And, he's learning the system. He's becoming more comfortable in it. So, Harbaugh's first loss as the Chargers head coach, Jim Harbaugh, not Jim. So Chargers now 2-1, and Justin Herbert wasn't supposed to play today, or he was unlikely. He has a high ankle sprain. Came out, played 12 of 18, 125 yards, 1 touchdown. Not great, but here's where Pittsburgh really showed its chops, and they were able to completely shut down the best rushing attack in the league thus far. 20 carries, 61 yards for the Chargers, and that's never the situation that a Jim Harbaugh team wants to find itself in.
Very true.
So Pittsburgh ends up taking this game 20-10. Really impressive to see them, completely shut down that run game. Definitely very impressive. Pittsburgh, on the other hand, 31 carries for 114 yards. Not the sexiest average, but continues to demonstrate. Now look at this offensive balance by Arthur Smith, Pittsburgh's OC. 32 passes, 31 rushes. Like, that's what you want to see. That's beautiful.
50-50.
Right. Now, I know that's not sexy in the modern NFL. I get it, but that's what you want to see. That ability to pretty much, that ratio, 1-for-1, that's real nice.
Yeah, you did it with Justin Fields as well. Like, typically you don't see Justin Fields get anywhere near 30 attempts.
No.
And obviously he was doing a good game. I mean, you only had 7 completions.
Yeah.
I mean, he had the 1 pick, but that's not nothing I'm finna, get at him about when your completion percentage is high, and you scored 2 touchdowns, 1 in the air and 1 on the field. And, that's your first turnover in the first 3 games.
Right.
Literally your first one. So other than that, you've been doing your job. We're 3-0. Defense goes out there and does their job. You're extending drives to keep the defense off the field. And hey, we won the game. And Russell Wilson probably over there like,
Yeah.
I may have to take my talents to Miami.
He's hating on the low. Right. And you know what? This is interesting. I didn't even realize this. I just saw it here. I got the numbers up. Justin Fields has never been known to be a particularly accurate quarterback. And obviously he hasn't been throwing a ton of passes this year.
No.
He's completing 73% of his passes.
That's high.
That's high.
That's high
for anyone, not just him. That's really high.
No, that's really, really high.
Yeah.
I think, your great years of Tom Brady's and Aaron Rodgers are like 65%.
Right. And obviously the more passes you throw, those numbers are going to come down some. But I mean, so far, so good. He's continuing to learn the system, get a little more comfortable in it. And I think, and he said it when he got there, he said, I didn't come here to hold a clipboard. I don't think he has any intention of being a backup and giving that job back. So
no, that's true.
Russell Wilson will have to
keep that fire.
Say again.
Keep that fire, man. He should keep that fire. Keep that flame lit. Go out there, compete. Obviously,
iron sharpens iron.
And I'm looking at Mike Tomlin like, shit, you ain't bitching me until I lose a game, buddy.
That's right. Yeah.
Like I'm out here winning games.
And I plan to keep winning. Right.
I plan on keeping winning. So until you see me out here and I'm losing back-to-back games or something like that, the onus is on me. Not saying that we lose the games and I'm out here still doing my thing and I'm not turning the ball over. I'm being productive on the offensive side of the ball. But if we're losing it because of the defense finally just started saying, we don't feel like playing defense today, then that's not on me. But I do like what he's doing, man. But in bigger news, Jim got a bit of a problem, man. His quarterback may be out. He was Justin Herbert was seen in a walking boot post game. Okay. So he definitely, I believe it was on a sack or a late pass or something like that. And he got crushed in the middle and he cited walking in a walking boot with the re-aggravated ankle injury. So
well, the good thing is Harbaugh's scheme has never been, obviously you want the best quarterback you can have, but it's never, in my estimation, been particularly quarterback centric. Yeah. Obviously it's, it's knowing the protections and knowing the scheme, but it's going to be very run heavy. And so I think that the way they play football, they can afford not, you never want it, but you can afford to lose a quarterback for some time. And you still have an opportunity to be successful. Run the ball, stop the run, like we keep saying. And the Chargers are building towards being that team, like every other team Jim Harbaugh has ever coached.
No, that's true. That's very true. And I do like their backup, man. Tyler Heineke ain't nothing to scoff at. No. He had some great showings in, I believe, Washington. Yeah, he played in Washington. He had some great showings in there. And like you said, with the way Jim schemes up his games, it's very, very run heavy. And I think if you look back, you look at Matt LaFleur back in Green Bay, okay, quarterback doesn't really have to pass the ball. Okay, cool. Hey, keep this run game going, baby.
That's right.
Keep the run game going, establish a run, and put your quarterback in situations to where it's some solid short throws. And then when the defense is sleeping, okay, there goes that big throw.
Now you catch him over the top.
You catch him over the top. So I think if he goes in there with that game plan, and Tyler Heineke could, definitely be, have some term of success, and they can go 3-1. I'm not sure who their next opponent is. Who is it? They play Kansas City. Well, good luck on that. You play Kansas City next.
Harbaugh's going to have them up for that game, though.
Yeah,
they will be competitive whether they win or lose that game.
Yeah, definitely gonna pick Kansas City to win that game, but
yeah, it's hard to pick against them.
That's
I might just do it just to do it though.
What, pick San Diego? Los Angeles.
Yeah, I got to think about it, but I might just do it.
Hey, that's real. That's real. All right, we're gonna move on. Bo Nix finally gets his first dub. Goes to Tampa Bay and beats Baker Mayfield. Baker the Maker Mayfield looked really pedestrian.
I got that wrong as well. I thought that Tampa Bay, with the way they've been playing and the way that offense is working and how well Baker's been playing, I really thought that Tampa Bay was gonna do it today and maybe even put it on Denver. And I was wrong. Bo Nix played well, didn't turn the ball over.
Didn't get touched.
His best game so far as a rookie, right?
Yeah.
Denver was able to run the ball effectively. We got 28 for 136 here. Very good.
Yep.
So yeah.
No, they did great.
Congrats to Bo Nix on his first win.
They look good, man. They definitely look good. Baker, he went kind of, it was a little bit of a setback, but you get sacked 7 times, obviously you're going to have some problems.
Right.
When, you can't, defense is constantly getting pressure on you and you're just rushing to make decisions and things like that. only scoring 7 points. That wasn't expected. Honestly, I didn't expect to see that at all.
No, not at all.
I didn't really catch much of this game live, but just looking at the numbers, I mean, Broncos had a scheme and they ran with it. We're going to run the ball effectively, and Bo Nix short throws, short and immediate throws, and he didn't throw it for a touchdown, but he ran for one. So
yeah,
that's definitely a boost of confidence for Bo Nix, especially if you're running a similar type of style that he ran in Oregon.
Yep.
That's going to put him in the terms of success. So
yeah,
but yeah, that's that one. Let me see. I'm missing one game, ain't I?
Giants and the Browns.
Giants and the Browns. Oh my God, DJ got a dub.
No, we're missing about 5 games here. So
yeah, I got Rams. I got 2, 3, 4.
Yeah,
I got 4 games behind that one.
Yeah, this Giants and Browns. I don't think it's anything to write home about, nothing to get too deep into. But Daniel Jones played a very good game today.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, clean, no turnovers.
Didn't turn the ball over.
Solid completion percentage, good amount of yards, and Malik Neighbors is very quickly moving into being that number 1 wide receiver, wide receiver 1 for them. And he's going to be good.
Yep, 8 receptions, 78 yards, 2 touchdowns, and that nice toe drag in the corner.
Yeah.
Boy, that was beautiful.
Yeah, that was
beautiful, man. When you catch these young receivers doing stuff like that, them older receivers be looking like, yes, I mean, they're learning, man. It's
and Deshaun Watson,
spectacular.
Deshaun Watson finally had a decent game. Like I said, the Deshaun Watson of old, that guy's gone. He's not coming back. But he had a decent game today, except for the fact that he got sacked 8 times.
8.
So the Giants defense was eating out there. So
yeah,
I
mean, if you could generate that much pressure, once you get past 5 to 6 sacks, you're going to lose that game, man. Browns back to being the Browns. It's a struggle for him, man. It's honestly a struggle for him. I'm curious to see how how things can improve. I mean, obviously Nick Chubb doesn't come back until week 5,
right?
Due to being on IR and stuff like that.
I think that's going to help a lot if he can come back and kind of
comes back and take it over for Jerome Ford.
Yeah,
with Jerome Ford, he really can't generate as much offense from the run game perspective, but Nick Chubb is going to come back, and I think he's just going to really boost the confidence of Watson now that that he has a solid run game in the backfield. So. But no, that was a good game by DJ. He finally has more touchdowns and interceptions in his football game. So hey man, proud of you on that one.
There you go. All right, cool. We'll what's next? Panthers Raiders.
Oh boy, Red Rifle.
Red Rifle, you got
Red Rifle.
And it's a shame because this just like we talked about briefly before we got started, it just makes not CJ Stroud, it makes Bryce Young look bad, man. It's not good.
It does.
He needs time to sit and watch. He needs to learn how to manipulate the pocket because he's so small he can't see. He's got to learn how to work within the either he needs an OC that's going to get him outside of the pocket regularly, boots and waggles and stuff, move the pocket so he can see rollouts and those things, or he's going to really have to learn how to manipulate the small crevices between the linemen and so he can see and then be able to throw up and around, over, between, and all that. So there's a lot that he's going to have to do from a size perspective. He just doesn't have it.
No. That's very true. But it goes back. If you guys go back from the Wednesday podcast when I had to discuss about NFL quarterback struggles, this is part of it right here, right? Veteran quarterback comes in, Andy Dalton, and he puts up a show, right? But then we go back and we look at Bryce Young, and it's like, okay, he finally gets to see that. But compared to what Bryce Young has done over the last year in the first 2 games of the season, you're like, oh, man, Bryce Young is a bust. Well, come on, man. He has to learn the game. He was. First of all, he should have been starting last year. I don't think he was even in the physical shape to be performing as your starting quarterback, especially for a Carolina Panthers team with absolutely no weapons that I can think of off the top of my head at all. But then, but this is why you put in a veteran quarterback and you sit back and you let Bryce Young just study, film, work on his body, getting healthy, getting stronger, getting bigger. And more physically fit to withstand blows, stand in the pocket and look at his decision making. I'm pretty sure Bryce Young sat back and looked at this game and was like, dang, okay, I'm seeing how he's doing it. It looks a whole lot different when I'm on the sideline trying to watch somebody run this offense. So, but anyway, take all that to say, but Andy Dalton did have himself a game, 319.
He did.
He was one of the first quarterbacks, excluding Caleb Williams, to just come in and immediately throw for a 300-yard game.
That's right.
In the
That's
game
right.
this season, with 3 touchdown passes on top of that. And they did establish the run. Hubbard.
I was just about to say Chuba Hubbard had a very good game.
Yeah, had a very good game. 114 on the ground, 21 out of 21 attempts, 5 yards to carry. 5 yards to carry will win you a lot of ball games. I'm telling you that right now. That's going to win you a lot of ball games.
Yes, sir.
Anything you got anything about the Panthers game?
Yeah. Did you hear what Antonio Pierce had to say after the game?
Negative.
At the press conference, he said, I'm not going to quote it exactly, but they asked him kind of about the game and what happened as the game was. He said, there was some guys out there, not a lot. There were some guys out there making business decisions, and going forward, we're going to make big business decisions too. I said, oh, right.
Ooh, I wonder who was that referring to?
Right. I don't know.
Because I'm looking at these numbers. Devontae, 9 attempts, 9 targets, 4 receptions. Could be a business.
It might have been some defenders when they saw the game out of reach, and Antonio Pierce is going to take that personally, as he was.
Oh, absolutely.
He's going to be, I'm sure he was hot about that. So I don't know. We'll definitely have to see. But I mean, it looks like they couldn't get anything going. They couldn't throw the ball really effectively. They couldn't run the ball, and again, you didn't expect this to happen to them via the Panthers. Like that was.
Yeah, that's the last team that you thought it was going to happen against, man. But that's what the Red Rifle does, man.
They're like, damn.
Red Rifle does come in and he gives you those surprising games out of nowhere, where you didn't expect it, and he goes out and has a great game. Then it kind of reverts back to normal, a little bit more normalcy.
If I'm not mistaken, he's been a Pro Bowler before. So
yeah, when he was in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he had weapons, etc. So
Curious to see how he does with the next game up, though.
Yeah,
all right.
3-time Pro Bowler. There we go.
3 times.
3 times.
That's why you got
2011 and 2014.
You can only get nicknames when you make Pro Bowls.
Right. I think he got that nickname in college, if I'm not mistaken, at TCU.
But it only sticks if you make Pro Bowls in the NFL. We don't want to hear your college nickname, man. You gotta earn that nickname.
You gotta re-earn it. Yeah. No doubt.
They ain't call you Red Rifle, but your name is Andy Dalton until we get
Colin Cowherd called him the beige water pistol. I was like, damn, that's rough. All right. Dolphins and Seahawks. I think we kind of knew how this one was gonna go.
Bad.
Yeah, obviously a long trip for the Dolphins. Did you know that's the longest road trip in the United States, from Miami to Seattle?
All the way to Seattle. Yeah.
Makes sense though when you look at it.
Southeast all the way up to the northwest.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Boy, that's a long ride back home.
That's a long ride. Yeah, especially after a loss.
And I believe Thompson got hurt, the backup quarterback.
Yeah, Tim Boyle came in.
Yeah. So I mean, Tyler Huntley can probably start.
And neither one of those guys are very good. So it's
negative.
A tough spot, man. Tough spot.
I mean, I got nothing much to write off on this game.
Yeah.
I mean,
Miami couldn't do anything.
They couldn't do anything.
And quiet as kept, Mike McDonald has the Seahawks really playing outstanding defense this year. So sometimes you just need a new voice, right? How long was Pete Carroll there? 12, 13 years? So sometimes you just need that new voice, I guess. Yeah.
I can't remember that one. But yeah, man, I mean, Dolphins are in trouble. I mean, the fans have already jumped off the bandwagon, and I mean, rightfully so. I mean, you guys don't even know who your quarterback is. Now, I do think, I believe they went to go grab Tyler Huntley. Did they grab him already?
I thought they did. He might still be on the practice squad, getting acclimated to the system. So
I think you might want to go ahead and speed that up very, very quickly.
I think so.
You know what I mean? I mean, you see, he's done great in plenty of offense before, particularly the Ravens. In terms of when Lamar Jackson goes down, Tyler Huntley can definitely put you in some good games to win them. So they're struggling over there, man. I really ain't got much of this game. Seattle did what they're supposed to do, just beat on
a bad
team. Yeah, beat them up. You know what I mean?
Facts.
Let's get to the shocker, bro.
That was
49ers Rams.
Yeah, man. So I had the Niners. I think I picked the Niners, but
yeah, we both picked the Niners. Yeah,
and look at this though, right? Everyone was saying, well, what's Brock Purdy going to do without all those weapons?
play good.
And again, his defense let him down. This is the crazy part. People keep acting like Purdy is not really good. Purdy's really good.
Purdy's very good.
22 of 30, 292, 3 touchdowns today.
Very
Only
good.
took 1 sack. Right.
Very good.
Oh, and
his
again,
scrambling was amazing.
Yes.
Like it was and it was a couple of drives, a couple of plays where I think the commentator said he had enough time to make a medium well steak.
Right.
He was scrambling around like he was keeping the play alive and doing the best he could, man. And when I tell you he found Jennings and didn't let Jennings out of his sight for the rest of the game. Jennings was his go-to for the rest of the game.
Right.
And that goes to show you, man. I mean, we were talking about, a lot of people say, well, what is he without his weapons? Christian McCaffrey.
He just took another guy and made him a weapon,
He took
Juwan
another
Jennings,
guy.
11 catches, 175.
Fourth on the depth chart. I took him and I made him look like a freaking all-star. I mean, a Pro Bowler.
Yeah,
I mean, and which I think Juwan Jennings is a very good receiver. I've been saying that because if Brandon Ayuk got traded, I'm like, well, Juwan Jennings is a very great receiver. He's going to be a great number 2. And then you got the rookie Parsall.
Ricky Pearsall,
Pearsall coming out of Florida, and you give him time to develop. But I mean, Brock Purdy did his thing, but
no doubt
the defense, man, they
boy. So check this out. We were talking about balance earlier in the other game. Can't remember which one it was now, but 49ers 30 pass attempts, 34 rushing attempts. The Rams in this game 26 passing attempts, 26 rushing attempts. Like that's what you want to see. And 2 outstanding football teams there, just really, just doing their thing. So that balance pays off. So it is what it is.
Both ran the ball. They both ran the ball effectively. Did what they needed to do on certain passes.
San Francisco more so, but
yeah, they definitely did their jobs on that. But Matt Stafford said, "Bump that." I know I'm down a bunch of offensive linemen. I'm down my starting receivers. I'm finna just go out here and have a game, and that's exactly what he did, man. He went out there and had himself a game.
Well, he didn't even get busy like that, but he made
the plays that he made, like the big time plays that he made at the end of the game to kind of put them in a position to even come even close to winning it. I think that was pretty huge for him. Definitely,
no doubt,
definitely huge for him. I mean, you got 2 great offensive coaches on the sideline calling up your plays and drawing up the schemes. I mean, what more do you expect in the fourth quarter than it being some type of a shootout? And it's a divisional game, so you definitely get those type of close games.
Yeah. Quick side note before we move on. Did you see Kyron Williams running through that front somersault into the end zone?
Yes. Yes.
You know where this is going, don't you?
Hey, my wife saw that and was like, did he just kind of flip?
He did. He did. And so with that, all I'm going to say is go Irish.
Kyron the Siren.
Kyron the Siren. Go Irish.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah, man. That was sweet.
Hey, that was good, man. I got
Brock Purdy played really well today, man. I was impressed. But again, it's frustrating to see his defense give up games where he plays well, and then being a quarterback, you're gonna get that loss on your record. So but it is what it is.
But I think they should finally go back and look at this game and be like, did Brock Purdy lose the game? No. I mean, at what point? I mean, 22 for 30, 292, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, 1 sack, ran the ball well, 10 for 41, 4 yards a clip.
There you go.
I mean, dang.
Yeah.
Not saying that the man is Aaron Rodgers, but those look very freaking good.
Very good numbers, yes.
So, and that's without Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Christian McCaffrey. So, what's the excuse now, man? Brock Purdy is good, man. He
is. All right. Detroit and Arizona. I think that's the last one. And then you got the doubleheader tomorrow night.
Yep. Detroit, Arizona. 20-13. Lions take that one. David Montgomery finally had a great running game. 23 attempts, 105 on the ground, a touchdown. Oh, Gibbs, 16 attempts, 83. Also, they just ran the ball down their throat. Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Pause. I mean, they had more rushing yards than passing yards. 187 rushing yards to 186 on the passing yards, and looks like they just ran them out of the field. Ran them off the field. 36.
So yeah, no doubt. I was gonna say, really impressed again with the dedication to running the football and slowing down what was starting to look like an explosive passing offense. We saw that last week.
Yeah.
With Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison Jr. And they kept that under relative control this week. So good win by Detroit. Man, wins it, coming off, it's so interesting, real quick, the dichotomy between college football and the pros, right? So obviously I was at Notre Dame yesterday watching that one. And then obviously, you watch other games and stuff.
Yeah.
And generally in college, when a team appears to be the favorite, generally they'll smack around the opponent, right? The lesser team. So often it just doesn't play that way in the NFL. There's so much more parity, and I think that's why people love the NFL so much, man. Like we picked a lot of these games. We're like, okay, we see this, we see that, and it didn't turn out that way at all, man. Guys come out, guys have pride, guys are, they're paying playing for their livelihood, so on and so forth, and just the parity is so much better in the NFL. So, I mean, yeah, we love certain things about college, but the NFL is special as well.
It's any given Sunday for a reason.
Any
given Sunday. You put together the scheme and you guys got more heart, more grit than them, then you could definitely come out there with a W, man. It's not that far-fetched in this league.
That's correct. Yeah, I don't think anything really too special about this Lions and Cardinals game. It's just weird though how Kyler Murray is kind of up and down. He's a roller coaster. So, but again, only 3 games in, and he's still realistically not even a full year back from the ACL. So, he's still working his way back into form. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. I mean, Marvin Harrison still caught another touchdown. So Marvin Harrison Jr. is still out there doing his thing, looking like his pops. Right. So I mean, I think they'll have a good bounce back. Who do they play next?
I'll tell you in a second. Cardinals.
Oh, because my phone is about to die. I wonder what's going on.
Had the Cardinals play the Commanders next, they can get that win.
Yeah, they can get that one. So I think that'll put them in a good position right there.
Yeah, but guess what though? We just finished talking about, man, it's the NFL, and the Commanders might come out and really go hard. You know what I'm saying? So who knows?
Jay Daniels may turn it up, looking like LSU out there.
Yeah. You might tell Kyler, yo, I want a Heisman too. Don't forget.
That's big. That's big facts.
Yeah.
And they give it Sunday for real, Big Scoop.
What's going on, Big Scoop? You new? If you are, man, go ahead, hit that like and subscribe for me.
Yes, sir.
All right. So that's it for today's games, man. A lot of entertaining football as always, man. Thank you, NFL. And tomorrow night, there is I don't even think it's like a double header. It's a double. The games are coming on roughly at the same time. You got the Jags and the Bills, the Commanders and the Bengals. So 2 decent games tomorrow night. Get to see Joe Burrow, and Jalen Daniels go at it. And on the flip side, get to see Trevor Lawrence probably get his face smacked in by Denver and Josh Allen. So, Yeah,
I'm looking at both of them. Buffalo has a 5.5 on a spread right now. Cincinnati has a 7.5 on a spread. So
those really sound about right, don't they?
Yeah. I think it should be a little bit more on Buffalo, but they might try to make that a close game at the end of the game. But like we said, I think we both picked the Bills and the Bengals to win both of these games on Wednesday. It's just how the Jags going to lose, because again, we live in Jacksonville, so of course we're going to hear more than anything on how the Jaguars are having such a bad year, down season. So
yeah. All right, well there we go. That's what we got on the wrap up for today's games, man. Very, very entertaining slate of NFL football, and looks like we only got a couple in the chat, so I don't even think we go ahead and open up the phone lines, man.
No, I mean they ain't shouting out their team like they supposed to be doing. So
right.
You ain't shouting out your team. You ain't about it. You ain't about it. What your team do today? Nothing. You ain't say nothing in the chat.
Right. All right, but listen, we appreciate y'all. Thanks for staying up late with us and hopping in on this NFL Sunday wrap up. We are probably going to go ahead and not going to promise you, but I think we're going to try to do this for the rest of the season. We're going to see what we can do here, and because like Transformers said, it makes things it makes things better in terms of our Wednesday show, and then you guys not having to wait so long to kind of get feedback from us on what we thought about the weekend that was the Sunday slate. So so we're
on Wednesday we can just keep it about the Monday games. I mean, we can
exactly
recap those. It's only 2 days away, so
right. Yep. All right, so I guess we'll leave it right there, and we'll be back with you Wednesday. Might be sooner than that, but we'll see. But we should be back with you Wednesday. And we out. Peace. All right, we go with the button again, man. Press the button, man. I don't know what's up on this end, man.